Hello, welcome again to this session S01.04. When you hear so much of talk about lean construction, you also may have a question on whether there are actual benefits of practicing lean. And nothing like hearing it from the actual practitioners, from the heads of the various organizations which are practicing lean. Unfortunately for us, they happen to be directors or members of the board of directors of ILCE, and we were able to record what they have been talking about lean in an event for CIDC, Construction Industry Development Council, sometime in last December. And we also had a bumper issue from the Construction World magazine on lean construction, and all the directors have given interviews in that journal. So compiling these, we have put together for you many quotes from the various directors and practitioners of lean in the industry. To start with, we have Mr. Anup Mathew, who is the chairman of ILCE Board of Directors, and he is also senior vice president and business head of Godrej Construction, a part of Godrej and Boyce. And he says lean is a commitment and needs, of course, top management support, and that lean helps a lot in reducing wastage, which is a very important thing. And for it to be effective, there has to be a behavior change to develop the lean culture for continuous improvement. It's a very important quote from Mr. Anup Mathew, and he also acknowledged that for their projects, lean has helped completion of projects within time and within the approved budget. Very important quote from the chairman of ILCE. One more director from ILCE, the Executive Director of Engineering and Construction of Shapurji Palanji, one of the largest construction agencies in India, Mr. Subodh Chandra Dixit, and he has said that we continue to engage with all the stakeholders to promote collaborative problem solving. And then when you practice lean, he has said that there are considerable cost savings, something like 5 to 15%. That's a lot of cost saving if you know the construction industry in India. So he has given a very important talk, a quote about what you can do to practice lean and get benefits from lean. One more director of ILCE, Mr. Giridhar Rajagopalan, Deputy Managing Director of Afcons Infrastructure, and Afcons has been practicing lean very, very ardently in the recent past. And what they have done, they have asked their quality excellence cell also to drive the practice of lean construction, and that has been quite successful, and they had good amount of cost savings by practicing lean. And he says that they would like to embed lean construction in Afcons DNA. That means he wants it to be an integral part of the way they do work, or they do the work in project sites. That's a very important quote, that he would like lean to be embedded in the DNA of Afcons. That's from Mr. Giridhar Rajagopalan. And we have another director of ILCE, Mr. Devarajan Chinnusamy, and he is the MD of URC Construction as well as Tactive Software, who are developing software for the construction industry. They have been one of the earliest practitioners of lean in this country, and he says the construction industry needs more collaboration and paves way for such a thing. And he has also acknowledged that there is good amount of savings. For example, labor can be reduced by about 12 to 15% if you practice lean well. And so Mr. Devarajan is one of the consistent supporters of lean construction. Then Dr. Koshi Varghese, professor from IIT Madras, one of the earliest teachers of lean construction in this country, and he's also a lean coach who has been to lean various project sites to teach lean to the practitioners. And he has said there are 4 dimensions of in any enterprise: the people, process, tools, and technology. And he has said that lean has to synergize all these for successful implementation. Another thing, he is also an expert in automation and construction. So he said, if you employ proper automation strategies and integrate them with lean, you have a greater impact from lean. And he has put a punchline: our projects just cannot afford to not to implement lean. That's how important lean is for Indian projects. Mr. Sagar Gandhi, another member of the board of directors, he is the head of strategy and business excellence from Shapurji Palanji, and he specializes in automation and the IT in construction. And he has said lean construction has been very helpful for reducing material waste, and he strongly advocates technology implementation, and is actually very useful for spreading lean, and the right dissemination of knowledge is important, and ILC will help in doing that. Next we have from the ARCOP Architects, who are also charter member of ILCE. So Debasish Guha is another director of ILCE, and he has been saying that they are practicing lean design through a system approach in their company in various stages of project development and design. And he has said that it's very important to bring in lean culture in every part of the project. Otherwise, lean implementation will not be sustainable, right from site selection through design, construction, procurement, and the final implementation. He says lean culture has to permeate through all the stages, through all the stakeholders. That's very important. Then I had also given some talks, and what I had mentioned earlier, that lean is a great game changer in project management. It can help improve the efficiency, cut down the waste like anything, and improve the predictability of and uncertainty levels in projects. IIT Madras is also developing a lean maturity assessment model, and we will introduce it quite shortly. And I also talked about a probable academic conclave in next year, where we can bring in the various agencies who are teaching lean, so that we can all get together and plan how to teach lean and how to make it accessible to more and more people in a better manner. The Shankar Narayanan is actually the head of Corporate Center, Buildings and Factories Vertical in Larsen & Toubro Construction, and he is also a member of the board of directors. And he has said adopting lean, cycle time could be reduced considerably, by actually halved in many cases, and lean thinking can optimize the construction process as a good input. And there are many intangible benefits as well from practicing lean. For example, teamwork and collaboration increase substantially, workman retention, team motivation, and so on. They are very good inputs from Mr. Shankar Narayanan. Another director of ILC, Mr. Harleen Singh Oberoi, is a senior vice president and head of project management group of Tata Realty and Infrastructure and Tata Housing. And he says they have better control on time, cost, quality and safety by practicing lean. Another important input he has given is they are practicing weekly big room meetings and with the contractors, and there they discuss the actual progress of versus the target. And he says they are able to solve many problems very efficiently by the big room process. That's a very good input from him. Then Dr. Ashwin Mahalingam is a professor in building technology and construction management division in IIT Madras, and he is an expert on BIM and automation systems and civil engineering. And he says you need an operating system and the applications for lean to succeed, and we need to set the lean processes in place in our projects. And when you are using BIM, he says we need to be careful to choose the right BIM tools and applications, otherwise you may be wasting your time, and integrate BIM into your lean processes properly, so that we get the best efficiency and profitability by practicing lean. Then we have Dr. Bhargav Dave, who is actually an Indo-Finnish expert, and he is the CEO and co-founder of a company called Busy Lean, a very important software application in the area of lean construction. And he says lean production planning driven by a collaborative approach and using the last planners to make sound commitments is very essential for making projects a success. And he wants us to adopt an integrated approach so that the tools can be communicate at each stage to automate the workflows. That's a very important thing. Instead of looking at the various stages of projects or various components of projects, he said look at the overall workflows and communication channels around a single stream. So the overall collaborative approach with the loss planners, that's very important for success of lean. And Dr. R. Venkatesan is the person from NICMAR, Hyderabad, and he has agreed to host ILCC 2022 in Hyderabad next year. So he says with the support of IIT Madras, ILCE has implemented lean program not only on an experimental basis, but now it has come to be practiced all over the country, and more organizations than IIT Madras, for example NICMAR, the various colleges, CEPT, CEPT, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, they are also coming around to push lean to further and further heights. So we have a number of industry experts and also some academic experts who have told us something about the importance of lean practices for benefit of the construction industry and the benefits which you can get from practicing lean. So I hope you will all see the these sayings, see them, look at them thoroughly, and learn from what they have said to take your own lean practices to much greater heights. Thank you. All the best.